My name is Imam Musa from Masjid al-Islam. Now look, here's the police right here. All of a sudden, he's going to jump right in front of me. Can you imagine? I'm out here, our masjid over in southeast D.C. Well, let me pull out farther. Okay. Here's the police right here, and it's from the leadership inside. We're from Masjid al-Islam in southeast Washington. We was the first masjid out in this area. The government has been isolating our community that it ain't but 3 or 4 people come to Juma. We have to come out here to raise funds to keep our masjid open. Why? Because we're not pro-Zionist. We're against all the wars that they have in the Middle East, killing the Muslims and destroying our society. And here's the police officer trying to direct traffic so that they will direct you around me so that we cannot get enough money, right, to keep our operation moving in southeast Washington. Believe it or not, it was almost 30 years ago we helped get this running right here. So we want you to help us right now, right? Yeah, help us. Our masjid out in southeast, we're not going to have any khutbahs in our masjid where they don't talk about struggle, where they don't talk about sacrifice. We're not going to have at our masjid any programs where we're not concerned about the Muslims, all of the Muslims. We're not going to have any programs. We're not going to have any Salatul Jummah where we're not pushing Palestine, where we're not against U.S. aggression anywhere in the world. Why? Because it's our job. And the Hadith tell us that we're supposed to support each other and we're supposed to stand by each other. But look what's happening. Today, you know, here's the police right here trying to speed you up so you will run right by me and won't pay any attention to somebody that's trying to help rescue the Muslims. We're not going to have any cowardly khutbahs. We're not going to have any sweetie pie khutbahs where the people, you know, some of the people in our Masjid that we help get going out here in the eastern part of this county, you know why? Because we are against Zionism. We're against oppression, right? And the United States government and the Zionists, they raid any of our countries anytime they want. They raid any of our countries. They murder our people all over the world, and they think we're going to stand here in America and not say anything about it. Well, that's not true. That's what Islam don't push that. Islam say if your brother hurts, right, then you should stand up for your brother. That means if your brother or sister is hurting, you should stand up and you should support them. And that's what we're about right here. And soon as we do this, we have a police right here directing traffic so you'll go around and won't put nothing in our box. Why? Because they try to starve the Muslims. They try to starve the people that's standing up. Well, they're not going to starve us. We're going to stand up. We've been standing up for the truth ever since we've been here. And we're not going to lay down and allow people to oppress us and murder and kill Muslims all over the world, and it's all right. And we'll have khutbahs where you don't hear nothing about it. Like the world is a wonderful place, right? And they invade Libya, they invade Syria, they destroy Iraq, right? Everywhere you go. Right now there's a war in the so-called Yemen, richest Arab country in the world, killing the poorest Muslims in the world, right? Saudi Arabia murdering and killing Muslims right in Yemen, the richest country in the Arab world, fighting and killing the poorest country in the Arab world. And they think we're going to stand here and, oh, it's all right. Walaikum salam. How's everything, brother? Good to see you. They thinking that we're going to stand here and we're not going to push. Look what they do. The Zionists do anything they want in Palestine. Tell the truth. The Zionists do anything they want in Palestine, right? And here they got one of the Zionist helpers right here, all of a sudden directing traffic. You know ain't no police been here directing no traffic. I come out here every other week, and I don't see him. And now here he is, standing here directing traffic so you hurry on by and won't put nothing in the box. That's what they want you to do in Yemen. They want you to hurry on by. They want you to speed on by, right? And when Palestine come up, when the Zionists bomb, raid, and murder our people, what do they want? They want you to hurry on by. But that ain't what the Quran says about Palestine, about Al-Quds. What does it say? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanallah asra bi'abdihi laylan min al-masjid al-haram ila al-masjid al-aqsa alladhi barakna hawlahu linuriyahu min ayatina innahu huwa as-sami'ul basir. Blessed is he. It means Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who was sent on a night journey from Masjid, right, Al-Haram to Palestine. Al-Quds, isn't that right? Isn't that where he went? He went from Mecca in Arabia to Jerusalem, Al-Quds, and then to heaven. Right? And then they want me and you to stand out here when they murder and kill Palestinians. They want me and you to walk by like ain't nothing happened. Well, that's not what we're going to do. If you're going to walk by, that's your business. We're not going to do that. We're going to stand up for our Muslim brothers Ukraine, brother, all over the world. Why? Because nobody else is doing it. You go find a masjid here in D.C. or in this area where the Muslims are having a khutbah that's related to Palestine or related to Yemen, right? Or related to the destruction of Syria or the destruction of Libya. What does that mean? The Zionists can do anything they want to us. Isn't that right? Tell it to me. The Zionists can do anything they want to us, and we'll walk right on by. Well, I'm sorry. Here's why we don't walk by. We don't walk by because on the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to ask us, how did we do in relation to the ummah? How did we do in relation to the brotherhood, the sisterhood, the family, right? That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to ask us. And we want you to understand that we are not part of any cowardly Uncle Tom type group that's going to sit up and have a khutbah while the Muslims are being murdered all over the world about we're not going to have a khutbah at our masjid about the fundamentals of Islam, but we're avoiding all the real fundamentals of Islam. That if Muslims are under attack, it's our job, it's our duty to support them. Isn't that right? That we're part of the same body. So this America, where we are right here, the policy of Zionism is in control. The policy of Zionism is in control. And we don't support no Zionism. The Zionists can murder, rob, and kill all they want, our believers, in occupied Palestine, and when you go to Qutbah, you don't hear nothing about it. What's wrong with that? The Zionists can murder us. And we drive by like it ain't nothing going on, like it's okay. Okay? Well, if you don't care nothing about your Muslim brother and sister, when they're attacked, what do you think the rest of the Ummah is going to do about you when you come under attack? We want you to remember, dear believers, the Zionist murderers are attacking the Muslims all over the world. They're harnessing the energy of the Muslims and making criminal organizations, Boko Haram and Daesh and all of these people. I don't care whether you're in Africa, whether you're in Asia, wherever you are, you'll find that the government, the Zionist government, and the government of the CIA and the United States of America harness all of our energy to fight against each other, to argue against each other. Well, here I am now. I want you to understand. My name is Abdul Alim Musa from Masjid al-Islam over in Southeast. Believe it or not, that's the biggest masjid in D.C. But you know what? It ain't no more than 2 or 3 people there. Why? Because the Zionists, the American government, have eased the people away, and they have all the people come over to places like this. Well, what's happening out here? Think about your khutbah today. Think about your khutbah today. Was it about the Ummah? Was it about loving and respecting your brother? What is about? Was it about a Muslim being, each Muslim being a brick, each Muslim being a support mechanism for the other? Is that what you saw today? Is that what you heard today? I don't believe so. So we want you to help us stay open. We want you to help us stay on the job, right? We want you to support us with your overwhelming wealth. We can see by the cars you're driving, you're not poor. It was 20, 30 years ago, you'd be driving them old clunkers. Look at you now, right? But I'm going to tell you something. The car you driving will not get you into heaven. Let me say that one more time. The car you're driving will not drive into heaven. The only thing that's going to get you there is good deeds. Isn't that right? And what's the best deed? The best deed is taking the uphill road. What do you think the uphill road is? It's helping your brother and sister when their face is down in the dirt, down in the dust. So again, this is your favorite Imam, Abdul Ali Musa from Masjid al-Islam in Southeast Washington. Okay, you may think it's unorthodox for us to be out here. We're not out here to try to make you uncomfortable. We're not out here to make you feel discoordinated. We're out here to help your brother and sister who need help all over the world. Everywhere you look in the Muslim world, the CIA have caused destruction, disorganization, right? And here we are today telling you we're not going to put up with it. Because one voice standing up for truth, it's going to be ours. It's not because we're brave or nothing like that. It's because we can read the Quran and Hadith. We can read the Quran and Hadith. And they tell us to stand up for your brother. It tells us that this ummah is one body. If one part of the body hurts, every other part of the body hurts. Isn't that right? And that one part of the body should support, should hold up each other side. That means if there's a Muslim starving to death in Yemen because the richest Arab country in the world, Saudi Arabia, is bombing, killing, and murdering the poorest Arab country in the world, right? And we ain't doing nothing about it. Something's got to be wrong with us. If our believers in Palestine are being murdered and killed on a daily basis by the Zionists with a free ride, and we don't say nothing about it, what about our conscience? What we gonna do? Tell the truth. What we gonna do when we show up wherever we show up and we say, well, we didn't support our brothers and sisters when they were being killed and murdered? That ain't gonna be on mine, Accord. You can have it on your record, but I'm not gonna have it on mine. My record is gonna say, when our brothers were being murdered in Palestine, we stood up for them. When our brothers and sisters were being murdered in Yemen, we stood up for them. While our brothers and sisters were being murdered, I'm telling you, murdered. I don't care whether it's Sudan, whether it's Syria, whether it's Mali, anywhere you go in the world, you'll find fitna in the world, in the Muslim world. Caused by who? Caused by the Zionist Americans, right? Caused by the Zionist Americans. That's who's causing the trouble, right? Our peace and our tranquility and our harmony is being systematically destroyed. And our brothers and sisters inside that are collecting money from all of you, what are they doing with it if they're not standing up for their brothers and sisters around the world? What are they doing with all of the money they're collecting, right? What are they doing with all the zakat, all the sadaqah, right? Where are they at? Why is there no one inside standing out here jumping up and down and turning flips about the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Why not? That's what we say. Why not? If they're not doing that, well, is there something wrong with us? Is there something wrong with us that we're out here, standing out here, wind blowing and carrying on, trying to raise a few funds to help push the Ummah Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Well, is there something wrong with us? Is there something wrong with that? What does history say about that? Does history say that when you stand for truth, you might be standing alone? Does history of the servants of Allah, the prophets, and all of its messengers, right? Except for Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Prophet Musa alayhi salam, and a few more, they had to stand in many cases alone and by themselves. Or get on over there. Stop acting like you're crazy. Wait a minute. Can't you see all that room over there? What's wrong? No, you got room. What's wrong? Here's a brother. You must work for somebody. Who are you working for, brother? Why you couldn't drive over there? You don't have to have no. You don't have to get over. Look at it. See? Look at it, people. Get him on camera. He is trying to get you over here. He had the whole. They sent our brothers by here. They got a whole block over there to drive over there. You won't believe it. I'm going to tell you what happened last few weeks ago out in Virginia, one of the big centers out there. There was a brother came from the inside and they called the police. The Muslim brothers inside called the police on us because we were outside doing what we do now. So you know, a Muslim or a black person should know better than calling a Virginia or a Maryland police on a person that's black, and especially a Muslim. That is insanity, right? When you know what the police's job is, right? So the brother was telling me, and I'm reciting the ayah. Subhanallah di asra bi abdihi laylan min al-masjid al-haram إلى المسجد الأقصى الذي باركنا حوله لنريه من آياتنا إنه هو السميع البصير. You know what he said? He came out and said, that's pornographic. You won't believe it. I'm reciting an ayat from Quran, right, about the Isra and Miraj. And he's saying to the police that that man is saying something pornographic. Well, dear believers, we're going to take a little rest now because it's that time. We're going to crank back up in another 4 or 5 minutes when the second khutbah is finished. So we thank all of y'all very much. But the camera's on, so I want to say a few things right now. The Muslim Ummah is in a serious situation. The Muslim Ummah that's here in the West, and I know we shouldn't say if, but it could be possible that the Ummah here in the West was organized. The Zionists here are organized here in the West. And the Zionists are less than us in numbers here in America. But they have more power and they have more authority. But we have more numbers. It's because they're organized. It's because they're organized. Right? And they got all the police forces working for them. Right? Like, this is a nice guy right here. This is a nice guy. He's a police. But you know what? He came out here and was telling me you can't be here and you can't be there. And you know what? This place belongs to the Muslims. And you know what the Muslims in there say? Oh, we don't want you out there waking up the people. And we're putting them to sleep, right? We want them to stay asleep. Right? Can you imagine? If the Muslims are being rocked to sleep, our leaders want us to stay asleep. We don't want you to join those people. We don't want you to stay asleep. We want you to be woke. We want to see your heart open up and feel like you're a part of the Ummah. Right? We don't want you to be just in love with your job, in love with your house. Right? No, I'm telling you. We want you to be in love with the Quran, in love with the Sunnah. That's what we want you to be in love with, and we want you to follow and practice that and make that your way. Make that your journey. So we'll be back in a few minutes. We want to thank y'all very much. But when y'all are coming out of there, try to put a little bit in the box. Okay, I want to tell you, whether you help us or not, that's not going to have anything to do with us not coming out here and telling you the truth. We're going to keep coming out here no matter what. If they gave you some little message inside about us being out here and we're stealing the resources of the money and the wealth, well, you wait till Eid time. I want y'all to remember, we're going to be out here at Eid too. Wherever you have your Eid prayer, we're going to be out there in numbers. Right? Because this is the zakat, and this sadaqah is for all the moves. So right now, we're going to take a little rest. But we're going to be right back to finish up in a few minutes. And remember, is what we're doing fits more with Quran and Hadith, or is what they're saying and doing inside fits more with the Quran and Hadith? And And then we're going to ask you another question. What was the subject today? Was it some ritual subjects that you've been knowing all of your life? Or was it about supporting, right, with patience and perseverance, the ummah all over the world? Or was it about the wars? Was it about Boko Haram? Was it about Daesh? This killing the Muslims all over the world on behalf of the Zionists? Huh? On behalf of the Zionists? Or was it a khutbah on unity, on love of the ummah, right? On compassion for the ummah? Was it a khutbah that talked about if your one part of the body hurts, the rest of the body should feel the pain? That's what we want to know, right? That's what we want to know. Was the khutbah, walaikum salam, or will the khutbah be about those subjects? Dear believers, we're going to be out here as soon as you come out. So we want you to go into your pockets. No, go into your brain and heart. And you know what we're saying is the truth. Don't let these Zionists and Americans, do not let Zionist Americans influence you on how you live your Islamic life. Keep the Zionist, satanic Americans out of your business. Why? Just go over the record. Just go over the record, dear believers. Right? The richest Arab country in the world are killing the Muslims in the poorest Arab country in the world. And you don't see much about it on the news. Right now they got everybody hollering and falling all out about Ukraine, isn't that right? And they say, well, the Ukrainians, well, they have blonde hair and the blue eyes. That's terrible. But when they kill, murder, and maim our people in Yemen, they're all terrorists. Right? They're all terrorists. Well, why are Ukrainians terrorists? Why are we terrorists? Huh? That's because the Zionist American CIA and all of its institutions are designed to murder and silence Muslims. Well, I just tell you, you may not put a whole lot of money in these boxes, but you sure ain't gonna keep us quiet. So until the next session, thank you very much. Wastaghfirullah li wa lakum.